Rose Gold, and today we're getting into part 1 of What If Naruto Was a Hyuga. And it's also the new series, hooray! Now, this is a new series, but I'm already happy to write it, so if you are happy to see it, like, subscribe, and join the Discord, or I'll have Naruto perform the 64 palms on you. And I'm also going to be changing my upload schedule a bit. I'm just gonna upload randomly, 1 or 2 days, or 3 days if I have like really a really stressful week or something. But yeah, I'm gonna be a bit more random, but just expect a video like every 1 or 2 days. But now let's get straight into part 1. We start this story off with a bit of backstory for Minato, not Namikaze, but Hyuga. Minato was seen as the biggest prodigy the Hyuga clan had ever seen, and even the entire village had ever seen in a while. His speed was outmatched by no one, however his skill with the Byakugan was rather pitiful. However, he was kind of able to use it. The very strict Hyuga clan was rather disgusted at the prodigy, who, even though he came from their side branch, dared to be such a prodigy and not even use his Byakugan much. A scandal! Needless to say, Minato Hyuga was not very well liked by his clan, but he did find love. However, this only made the clan more disgusted. In Kushina Uzumaki, an outrage, the Hyuga clan was even more disgusted by the man who not only dared to be from their side branch, but then didn't even marry a Hyuga. Minato was not setting his son up for good relationships with his clan. As Naruto was born, suddenly the newborn was thrown into the air by Obito Uchiha, still posing as Madara Uchiha. Then had Minato catch him and remove the explosive tags from the baby's blanket. He took Naruto's mother, Kushina Uzumaki, with him, and Obito extracted the Nine Tails. Kushina coughed up blood as Obito left her there to die. However, Minato made it in time for her to still be alive, and after teleporting away an entire Biju bomb from the Nine Tails, died with her himself. But not before sealing half of the Nine Tails into his son and the other half into himself. Naruto's early childhood was not very good to say the least. His clan hated him just for his father and mother, and the village hated him after he turned about 2, as Danzo revealed the fact that he was the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki, and after the destruction that took place, was enough to make people hate a small child. Naruto was a good amount smarter in this, as he took a bit more after his father, and his general Hyuga genetics caused him to be a bit more prideful of his intelligence and power, but not by too much, but enough to actually go to the library, etc. Naruto studied the Hyuga clan and his techniques. It went rather well, and he even learned how to figure out his chakra nature, which he did with his insane learning speed. The only jutsu he knows are, however, Wind Style Gale Palm and the Wind Style Wind Bullet, and of course the Hyuga techniques, including the Gentle Fist fighting style, etc. However, another very important jutsu will go into that list soon. Naruto was one of the most powerful academy students, and the second most powerful, in fact, after Sasuke Uchiha. However, he wasn't able to make it to the top, or even close, as he was the last in the academy because of his lack in chakra control and him not contributing to the class most of the time as he was distracted reading. Most of the people in the class hated him with a passion, except for Shikamaru, Hinata, and while Sasuke was kind of indifferent toward him right now, so Naruto was never distracted by social activities. However, one time Naruto did something for another person which would change his future forever. In the cold winter days, a small girl was thrown to the ground by 3 people who were about a year or so older than the girl. The girl was Hinata Hyuga from the main branch, and when Naruto saw them, he ran over using his body flicker technique and told them to take on someone your own size. Naruto was a bit taller because he had realized only eating ramen won't do him any good in training, so he looked up a more healthy diet. However, he was still the number one customer at the Ichiraku Ramen. As the 3 young boys walked over to him, they laughed at the boy until suddenly one of them was knocked out by a single punch. Naruto was not playing games as he knew who was getting bullied, and he liked the young Hinata. As Naruto was never seen as a part of the clan, he was never forced to have the curse mark. That had Neji and every other side branch member so frustrated, so his power was not restricted, he was able to beat the boys rather easily. However, his scarf was torn from his neck and was ripped apart and battered by the boy who took it as revenge. So Naruto just picked it up and helped Hinata, whose face was completely red as Naruto pointed her toward the direction of her house, and even let her keep that scarf, as she seemed to be lost. To which she quietly thanked him and ran to the direction, which had the young Naruto smiling, then going back to his small apartment, not knowing how much he had just changed his future. Talking about apartments, let's cover his. Let's cover Naruto's. Yeah, his door had a Hyuga clan symbol, and when you enter the room, it was cleaned perfectly and was cleaner than every other room in that apartment complex, as most of the people here were poor, including Naruto. So their apartments usually consist of empty ramen packets, mice, and rats, as, as this apartment complex was very old and very dirty, as the owners did not care for it. However, it is very cheap. That's why most of the people lived here. As the graduation exams finally took place, Naruto was horrified at it being the clone jutsu, his worst jutsu. So he felt like the original, making him rather depressed as he had been looking forward to becoming again so much, as it was the start of his journey to completing his dream of becoming Hokage and having the Hyuga clan finally accept him. As Mizuki saw the little kid, he walked over seeing an opportunity and told him all about the scroll of sealing, to which Naruto accepted the plan. While he was smart, he was very sad right now, and his higher pride made the loss even worse. So when Naruto heard that he would be able to graduate if he learned a jutsu from the scroll sealing, made him so happy that he went with the plan immediately. He was able to steal the scroll of sealing and actually learn two jutsu. He did this by having read about the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He knew that the multi Shadow Clone Jutsu would most likely have the same effects, so he learned another technique, that being the five pronged seal, which could prove to be useful in the future. As you know, the Shadow Clone Jutsu boosts up training by a great amount. As Iruka showed up, Naruto was eager to show him the jutsus he had learned, and when Iruka asked him why he was so excited, he replied with, "Well, Mizuki sensei told me that if I learned a jutsu from this thing," he pointed at the scroll of sealing, "that I could pass." Iruka was rather shocked. If that's what he was told, and he was so excited. Had he actually learned a jutsu from the scroll of sealing in such a short amount of time? But that was the least of his concerns. Mizuki sensei had told him that, but Mizuki san is a teacher. His thoughts were quickly cut off as he saw the giant shuriken flying toward Naruto. "Duck down!" Iruka shouted at Naruto, who complied, until seeing Iruka take the shuriken for him. Iruka sensei? Iruka proceeded to tell him everything, how they were the same, and how he felt sorry that he wasn't there to protect and care for Naruto, and he was tearing up. Oromitsuki shouted at Naruto was that nine-tailed Tsuchoriki, and that Iruka hated him because his parents had died. At first Naruto was shocked, but Naruto could tell if someone was lying as he activated his Byakugan. With rage-filled white eyes, he threw Mizuki to the ground. "How dare you lie to me?" Naruto crossed his fingers into a plus shape and made about 250 clones, which all proceeded to absolutely beat the shit out of Mizuki with their gentle fist technique. However, Mizuki was now on the ground with a tooth knocked out, and he himself also being knocked out. As Iruka saw this, he told Naruto, who had walked over to him to check if he was okay, that he had passed, which made Naruto very happy, and they even went to Ichiraku afterward. When the teams were being chosen, Naruto realized that people were going away rather quickly, until finally he was called upon and told his teammates would be Sakura Haruno and Sasuke Uchiha. His biggest rival was on his team. How would this turn out? Now I'm going to be ending off part 1 right here. I tried to make it a little longer than usual, so I hope you enjoyed it. This is Rose Gold, and I am out.